Hi everyone, welcome to this video Alteryx hands-on practice questions. In this video we will be parsing JSON from the World Bank API link. In a previous video we have done it the XML parsing and the HTML parsing as well. To check them out. Below the topics which we will be covering from the in and out to the text input browse, preparation, developer, we will be covering the download and JSON parse. From parse, we'll have the text to columns. From reporting, we'll have render and interactive chart. From transform, the cost tab and the join. This is how the data would look like, and this is the link. Let me show you the data. So this is the link, and this is the JSON format data which we have, where 50 countries data is mentioned. Not 50 countries exactly, it's I think 50 years data. This is the output which we are going to generate. So I have saved this as an HTML here. Okay, we'll have the year, and according to the year we'll have a line chart which will show the population growth, and this is the growth you can see on the y-axis. Moving on to Alteryx, the first thing which we'll do is for all these passes we'll have to use the text input to pass in the URL, where we'll pass the entire URL in the text format. Next, we will use the download and we'll download everything as a string. So this is going to create a new column for us, which will be called as download data, which will have all the values which is present in that data and a download header as well. Next, we use the JSON field where we'll pass in the downloaded data. I will output all the values into a single string. We can output it into based on the data type, and that will just split our data into multiple. So now if you see, I'm getting a JSON name and a JSON value string. These are the two columns I'm getting. If I do it based on data types, this JSON value will be divided into 3 to 4 data types like integer, floats and all those details you can check out from the Alteryx self website. Okay, this is the JSON parser tool. Once we get this, I'm using a text to columns to just separate my JSON names based on a delimiter, and I'm splitting into three numbers, number of columns 3, and leaving the extra in the last column. The reason for doing this, if I see my data, so this is how the JSON name looks like. It gives a number 1.0 country code. This is normally how it's there, and if the country is repeating, or if the country has different parameters, is country.id, country.value. That's why I'm just splitting it into 3. Next, I'm using select to just get the name and the value string, JSON name 3. So now I get the indicator value, country id, country value, and all their value strings in the next column. But here you see there are a few nulls. That's because the page number and all was also there in the starting, so this entire field is a null one. They don't have any JSON names, just the value string is there. Just eliminate that. I'm using a filter where the JSON name 3 is not null, so that we get all the correct output which we need. So this is our to indicator, and now it starts from indicator, not from the pages. Next step is I'm going to use a cost tab. In the cost tab, I'm going to change the column headers of JSON name 3 to JSON value string, and I'm going to use the concatenate aggregate method. This is going to concatenate all the values which we have for country added into one, same as country value, and finally the value and the date. Since now we have received this, I'm just going to split them based on commas. So the first split which I'm doing is for the value, because we need the population and the date. So I'm taking value which has the population field, the delimiter is comma, and splitting it to columns, sorry, rows. So you see all the values which were in the form of comma, they are separated into all 50 values. Similarly, I'm doing the same thing for the date one, and here we go. All the days, 50 years date is being shown into rows now. I'm using two selects to just pass in the value and the date because after that we need to join it. Next, I'm using a join combination to join by the record position so that I get the one-to-one mapping between the date and the population value. This is how our output looks like. We had the lowest population in 1973 and it goes up to 2021. 2022 doesn't have a value in our data. I'm using the sort tool to just sort the date into ascending because the graph should look proper. Next, I'm using the interactive chart. I'm just configuring it. The layer first layer is a line chart where in the x-axis we have the date, in y-axis we have the value. I've done few formatting here to just include the dots. So here instead of lines I've used lines and dots both. Then I've just given a background color to it. The symbols you can change and all. Next, you can use a browse to see the output of it. And if you want to save the output, you can use the render tool. So in the render, I'm using output to a specific file, and the specific file I'm giving a HTML version here. By default, it will take HTML. You can give PDF, anything you want. The paper size I have given as A4 here because the entire graph was not being covered if the letter was being selected. And finally, we have this output. I hope you found this video useful. If so, please subscribe to the channel for more such updates. Thank you so much for watching.